Recurring themes are explored in Kim's works. For example, delusion and awakening, meditation and the path to spiritual enlightenment. Kim develops his ideas in a coherent manner. The same theme is explored in different ways. Works are composed in sets like movements in a piece of music, and an idea is carried forward or referred back to a previous one. Kim expresses his deepest thoughts in the simplest and most essential form. But underlying this apparent simplicity are profound spiritual meanings. In delusion, a carefree bird seems happily chasing falling leaves until it falls flat on its face. Here we are given a glimpse of the artist's dark sense of humor. The leaves represent worldly desires. In Awakening, the bird motif is used as a vehicle to express intense human emotion in the confrontation of death, leading to the spiritual awakening of the impermanence of life. A live bird and a dead bird are repeated in a sequence as the narrative unfolds. It progresses upward in crescendo from a baby bird helplessly crying beside a dead bird, a young bird screaming in shock, an older bird staring at the dead bird as if coming to some kind of realization. Finally, in the last panel, the bird perched on a branch near the top of the painting has an enigmatic expression of acceptance. In Kim's work, calligraphy, the art of handwriting, plays a significant role. Calligraphy and painting are interchangeable. Both share the same tools of brush and ink on paper. Ink paintings are created or written with calligraphic brushstrokes, and the calligraphy itself becomes an abstract painting. With evocative brushstrokes, Kim captures the essence of his images, the essentials achieved with a great economy of means. And through his art and creativity, he expresses his inner spiritual experience. In a state of stillness, compelling images emerge from his mind in spontaneous brushwork. The images are imbued with vital energies and appear animated. His brush seems to dance on paper. Just as an instrument resonates in harmony with an equally tuned player, so will a viewer reverberate in spirit with Kim's works. In a wild goose flying across a vast sky, the impression of a goose flying across the sky is achieved with a few abstract brushstrokes of subtle ink tones. The mind of an ordinary person holds onto things and cannot let go. The sage is not attached to things. Thoughts and sensations come and go like birds flying over the sky, leaving no trace. With meditation as the path towards enlightenment, Kim has created a series or sets of paintings and calligraphies. A monk immersed in deep meditation with his back to the viewer is the main focus of this series. The paintings in the series are also evocative of landscapes. In the original state of oneness, a meditating monk is in the midst of calligraphy. The calligraphy appears misty, evocative of vegetation, and the monk a rock. It also seems to emit energy. Calligraphy becomes an important part of the painting. In Tao, the Chinese character Tao, which means the way, is creatively transformed into an image. The main part of the character looks like a kneeling figure in meditation. The lower part is extended in one spontaneous brushstroke that could be a path or Tao. This long, undulating brushstroke is evocative of the contour of a hill in a landscape. In the calligraphy painting, No Mind, a powerful image has emerged from the state of no mind, when body and spirit become one. The wind-swept, strong, energetic brushstrokes are evocative of rain and wind. The rough, streaky brushstrokes are evocative of the textures of the roots and branches of tenacious old trees. The dynamic brush movements express the life force of nature, as well as the inner strength and power of the artist. In Lost and Confused, the cranes are powerful images that express human emotions. As in the river of life curving upwards, the cranes with sword-like beaks are looking in different directions. They appear disconcerted, confused, as if they have lost their sense of direction. The cranes are physically intertwined and interlocked with the empty or negative space around them, as if entangled in a web of psychological intrigue. In Lost One's Way, 6 bats fly in different directions away from the circle in the low right-hand corner. With simple calligraphic brushstrokes imbued with subtle intonality, the artist has captured the shape of the bats, the movements in space, and the sense of distance. Each brushstroke is subtly articulated. There is a wonderful sense of balance among the bats and the space around them. The bats also convey a tremendous sense of speed, almost machine-like, as in contemporary animation films. In this sense, the artist has introduced a modern dimension into his paintings. In the tradition of Chinese painting, light is not represented. In Kim's paintings, light is not so much represented as expressed. In Path to Spiritual Enlightenment, only a circle is depicted. It also represents the moon, which symbolizes spiritual awakening. This inner light first appears in the glow of light in the early painting of pine with cranes dancing in the snow, dance in motion. In the series of paintings of the meditating monks, the gap in the outline of the monk's head suggests some kind of illumination that envelops the monk. It is as if the monk is bathed in cosmic or spiritual light. It is profound, but also shows the artist's sense of Zen humor. In Moon in Reflection, Kim has not only succeeded in revitalizing a tradition of Chinese painting and calligraphy of more than 2,000 years, but has also given it a contemporary dimension. His works are original and innovative, constantly pushing the boundaries and breaking new ground. Kim speaks of artistic creativity in terms of a Zen concept, po ge, which means breaking the rules or smashing conventions and hence breakthroughs. Kim has taken us on an artistic and spiritual journey, moving from the representational world of nature to his inner spiritual world, from color to black and white paintings and calligraphy. The development in Kim's works is reminiscent of the changes of seasons, from the joyous colors of spring to the monochrome of winter, from external activity to introspection. He has explored the various themes in Zen philosophy, impermanence, delusion, and meditation as a way to spiritual awakening. In his Zen paintings and calligraphy, the images are calming and thought-provoking, inviting the viewer to participate in an inner dialogue. For the attuned viewer, it is not so much rising to a higher realm of spirituality as going within, to purify one's mind by stripping away the layers of worldly thoughts and desires. In this meditative state, the viewer is free to look at the paintings and calligraphy with a clear, empty mind. No mind. Kim Ho Tran was born in Saigon, South Vietnam in 1959. His family were originally from Fujian province in China, and his Chinese name is Shen Jin He. Coming from a loving family of one brother and 4 sisters, Kim emerged as an artist from a family that had mainly a business background. He was inspired by the ancient tradition of calligraphy and painting, a Chinese tradition which is more than 2,000 years old. Kim's mastery of the brush began in early childhood. He showed an early love for art and nature, spending much time in the pine forest, observing and drawing birds and trees. His early paintings of birds and flowers are quite colorful. Even in these works, you can see the strong composition and brushwork that appear in his later pieces. With great simplicity and purity, Kim's works reflect his inner spirituality. Kim has immersed himself in Zen Buddhism for over 10 years. You paint a series of paintings of a monk deep in meditation with his back towards the viewer. Now, is meditation a way towards spiritual enlightenment?
Yes, when you're deep in meditation, your mind returns to the original state. So in that state, you can cause no mind.
What does no mind mean?
No mind, when your mind is pure and calm, away from the worldly thought, when that's a level of mind, when the indistinction doesn't exist.
Does the moon or circle symbolize enlightenment?
Yes, it does. The moon and just symbolize the enlightenment state, especially in Zen teaching, and the circle as well. The circle still represent enlightenment, but they mean no begin, no end, and no past, no present, and no future. Yeah, you full but empty, empty but full.
So the full moon is like the circle, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So when you draw in the Zen painting, you draw the circle. You can think that's the moon or the circle, pretty much the same meaning.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What do the fallen leaves in your painting mean? Do they have special meanings?
Yes, when I observe the nature, every pieces of small thing, even a falling leaf, I still keep in my mind because it can express some way. So in painting, I use the falling leaf because especially the 5 fingers leaf. This, in Buddhist view, in this life, with the 5 desire, the first thing is the wealth, desire, fame, eating, and sleep. There's 5 desire in this material world. So I use the leaf with the 5 fingers to represent this life. Just because in daily life, what I can observe, what I can understand, experience. Think when you get something, you gain something today, but you may lose tomorrow.
Yeah.
What in front of you now, but you will go away sooner or later. That sort of feeling. So I just try to create a painting like that.
You use birds and cranes a lot in your paintings, don't you?
I like to observe the bird activity or every movement. When I was young, I still like feed the bird, and I like them. So because the way they eating and they playing so cute and so lovely. That's why I like it. So when I grew up and do the painting, I like to use the figure of the bird or the crane to create in my own artwork. I just try to aim on how to express my inner emotion to the bird. That's why sometimes you can see the bird quite a bit human emotion. Yeah. In fact, what my experience is in daily life, what I understand, if your mind is happy, you will appear in your action. Yeah. If your mind is sad, your heart is really sad, will appear in your voice and awareness. But even in the artwork, still the same thing. Yeah. So that's why from that experience, when I paint the bird, I feel very happy. I just try to transmit the emotion to the bird. I'm not based on a technique how to do the birds nicely and the technique use of ink or water or color. Yeah. I try to transmit my inner emotion to that one.
Actually, probably, it seems to me that you probably observe human beings more than the birds, maybe. It's most interesting. You paint directly in front of nature?
Not really. I just paint. I don't paint in front of nature. Just paint for memory. Yeah, I use the image of nature to express my inner thought, inner experience, emotion. Yeah.
Right. Oh, because in one of your paintings, a man playing flute in a pine forest, it looks so real. I feel I could actually smell the fragrance of the pine forest.
Yeah. Oh, actually, not only paint for memory, I still plus some of my imagination as well to make the scene suit what I want to express.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
nature is so beautiful. It is so full of colors, especially in spring and autumn. Why is it that since 2001, you stopped using color and paint only in black and white?
Actually, I like color as well. Color is beautiful to me, but I choose Zen painting. I use black and white because black and white suit with the Zen's meaning. Zen is something simple, something humble and pure. So I like the painting to express my inner thought rather than express the external beauty.
Why do you call your exhibition Moon in Reflection?
Based on the Buddhist concept about this world, everything is illusion, So even ourselves, still illusion. So, but what we can see in here, still illusion, because they create from our mind, here and there, tall and short, all the concept of mind, but they still not real as well.
Yeah. Because even real is just a word, isn't it?
Yeah. So it looked like the moon reflect in water. You can see it looked real, but in fact, when we touch it, we cannot touch the moon, only the water. That's why I use the moon reflection in water to express my exhibition. Because my work in all men aim on the void and real and unreal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so intangible. So in a sense that everything is beyond our understanding in some ways.
Yeah.
It's created by our mind, which is not real in itself.